All right, let's just jump right into this explainer, shall we? Today, we're exploring the incredible mechanical engine sitting right inside your chest and its profound, undeniable connection to your deepest emotions. You know, the human heart is such a fascinating subject because it is quite literally the physical rhythm of our lives, but it's also deeply intrinsically tied to how we feel, how we connect, and how we experience the world around us. To really wrap our heads around this, we're framing today's explainer around a beautiful indigenous concept, perfectly articulated here by Don Alberto Taxo. He explains that the eagle represents the immense power of the mind, all the rigorous gifts of science, anatomy, and technology. Meanwhile, the condor embodies the power of the heart, representing deep feeling, empathy, and connection. So here is our game plan for this explainer. 1. The eagle and condor. 2. Mechanics and electrical rhythms. 3. The first heart transplant. 4. Heart attacks and risks. 5. The mind-heart connection. And 6. Calming the vagus nerve. Okay, kicking things off with section 1, the eagle and the condor. The big takeaway right out of the gate is that if we really want to understand the human heart, we have to look at the whole picture. We need the clinical, mechanical reality of the eagle alongside the emotional, psychological truth of the condor. We literally hold both of these powers inside us. And for us to truly enjoy life and stay healthy, these two forces absolutely must fly together in perfect balance. Moving right along to section 2, mechanics and electrical rhythms. Let's dive straight into the eagle's domain. Your heart is an extraordinary dual-pump machine. It's got 4 distinct chambers, your upper atria and your lower ventricles, working in this flawless, steady rhythm. When you're just resting, it's beating an average of 60 to 100 times every single minute, and in that 1 minute, it is pumping about 5 quarts of blood, moving 1.5 gallons daily. It just works tirelessly, delivering a constant stream of oxygen and nutrients to every single cell in your body, every day of your life, no breaks. Now, to get that perfectly coordinated heartbeat, a single electrical impulse follows this highly specific, lightning-fast path. Think of it as your heart's internal wiring. It kicks off at the SA node, which is basically your body's natural pacemaker. From there, the electricity jumps to the AV node, shoots down the bundle of His, and spreads out through the Purkinje fibers. That exact sequence is what causes the lower chambers, the ventricles, to powerfully squeeze and push blood out to your entire body. But here is where the engineering gets absolutely mind-blowing. Right at the AV node, there's a built-in delay of just 150 to 180 milliseconds. This tiny, seemingly insignificant fraction of a second is actually a vital protective mechanism. First, it gives the lower chambers time to completely fill up with blood, but it also acts as a bouncer, a gatekeeper. If your upper chambers start misfiring chaotically, like at 300 to 400 beats per minute during atrial fibrillation, this delay literally stops those hyperfast signals from completely overwhelming the lower chambers. All right, on to section 3, the first heart transplant. So mapping out all that mechanical knowledge eventually paved the way for an absolute medical miracle. This timeline shows the dramatic sequence of events in South Africa that changed medicine forever. Starting way back in 1958, intense animal trials laid the groundwork. Then, on December 2nd, 1967, history was made. A beating heart was transferred into the chest of Louis Washkansky. Tragically, due to a weakened immune system, he passed away from pneumonia just 18 days later. But the very next month, in January 1968, they performed a second, highly successful transplant on Philip Bleiberg. Looking at the historical record from our sources, the success of this immense milestone actually relied on 2 very different men. On one side, you have Christiaan Barnard, the world-famous, highly credited surgeon who led the actual human transplant. On the other side, you have Hamilton Naki. Under the laws of apartheid at the time, Nakim is an uncredited black lab assistant who was officially on the payroll as a gardener. Yet, he possessed incredible expert surgical skills despite having no formal medical training. In the animal labs, his suturing was known to be absolutely flawless. And honestly, it was that crucial foundational skill that made the human trials possible in the first place. Which brings us to section 4, heart attacks and risks. Okay. So what happens when the eagle's precise machinery starts to fail? Well, understanding your blood fats is a major key to cardiovascular health. Triglycerides are essentially just stored excess calories. Then we have LDL, widely known as the bad cholesterol, which unfortunately builds up as dangerous plaque on your blood vessel walls. HDL is your good cholesterol. Think of it as the cleanup crew, taking excess fat to the liver. But the one you really need to be aware of is LPA. This is a genetic marker you are born with that promotes artery deposits. And here's the kicker. Unlike LDL, you can't just lower LPA by eating a healthy diet or going for a run. Now, this is crucial. Heart attacks can look completely different in men and women, and knowing this distinction literally saves lives. While men often get that classic, undeniable, severe chest pain radiating down the arm or up to the jaw, women's symptoms are way more subtle. We're talking nausea, extreme fatigue, shortness of breath, or dizziness. Because these symptoms are so easily brushed off or confused with everyday stress, women arrive at the ER an average of 3 hours later than men when having a heart attack. 3 hours! If you ever suspect someone's heart has completely stopped, you cannot afford to wait around. These 3 actionable steps for bystander CPR can save a life. Step 1, shout at them and check for breathing for exactly 10 seconds. Step 2, immediately call emergency services. Step 3, start chest compressions, pressing down 5 to 6 centimeters deep. And pacing is everything here. You want to aim for about 100 beats per minute, which, believe it or not, perfectly matches the rhythm of the Bee Gees song, Stayin' Alive. Just sing it in your head. Next up, Section 5, the mind-heart connection. Pivoting away from the pure mechanics for a second, let's welcome back the condor. Enter this incredibly fascinating field called psychocardiology. This proves that our hearts aren't just isolated, unfeeling pumps. When we feel afraid, anxious, or stressed out, our heart automatically responds. It starts beating faster and harder, artificially spiking our blood pressure to prep our bodies for danger. Even if that danger is just, a really stressful email from your boss. Get this, though. Out of all the anxieties we face in the modern world, biological evidence shows that relationship stress is actually the absolute hardest thing on the human heart. Since we are biologically wired to crave connection and support, interpersonal friction triggers this endless release of stress hormones. Over time, that keeps your whole body in a constant state of chronic inflammation, which directly damages the cardiovascular system. But on the flip side, the condor brings us healing through connection. Have you heard of oxytocin? It's widely known as the cuddle hormone, released during moments of genuine intimacy and closeness. But it's not just a warm, fuzzy feeling. It's physical biology. Oxytocin actually binds to specific receptors right there on your heart muscle and vascular cells. The physical result? Your blood pressure drops, your circulation improves, and the entire heart muscle is instantly relieved and relaxed. How amazing is that? Finally, we're at Section 6, calming the vagus nerve. So how do we intentionally hack our biology to soothe the heart? Say hello to the vagus nerve. Think of it as your body's built-in brake pedal. It's a key part of your parasympathetic nervous system. When you stimulate the vagus nerve, it immediately fires off signals that reduce your heart's electrical workload. It slows down your heart rate, drops your blood pressure, and brings your whole body back to a calm state of rest. To see this in extreme action, we can learn a lot from free divers. To survive immense, crushing underwater pressure on a single breath of air, they have to find complete meditative calm to conserve their oxygen. By consciously stimulating their vagus nerve through extreme focus and relaxation, they can literally drop their heart rates down to a staggering 30 beats per minute while they're diving. No way, right? Now, thankfully, you don't have to be hundreds of feet underwater to use this biological hack. You can actually practice this 1-minute breath technique from Kundalini Yoga right now. It's a highly effective, tangible way to manually stimulate your own vagus nerve. It's super simple. You just inhale slowly for 20 seconds, hold that breath for 20 seconds, and then exhale slowly for 20 seconds. It forces your heart to slow down and brings your entire nervous system into total alignment. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought. Are you truly giving both the eagle and the condor the space they need to fly together in your own life? Are you balancing the rigorous maintenance of your physical machine with the deep emotional connections that make that machine worth running in the first place? The mechanics of the eagle keep you alive, for sure, but the emotional connections of the condor, that's what gives life meaning. Take care of your heart, guys, in every sense of the word. Thanks for joining me.